we're talking about exponential growth and exponential decay functions. And here we have an exponential decay function because we have 3/4, which is the base that's between 0 and 1. First thing for this is I want to graph the base, which is 3/4 raised to the x power. So we're just going to plug in values for that. Again, great numbers to pick are 1 and 0. So 3/4 raised to the 0 power, and that is going to be equal to 1. And 3/4 raised to the 1 power, and that is going to be equal to 3/4. Now, in order to, well, we can plot that function. So we have 5, -5, -5, and 5. So we have the point 0, 1. So 0, 1. And then we have the point 1, 3/4. So 1, 3/4. If we were to plot -1, that would be 4/3, which would be just a little bit up there. And so we can have a function. This is not the answer, but this is what the function looks like here that we just calculated. Now we have to deal with the a value. Here we have the asymptote is still y equals 0, or the x-axis. Now with what the a value, or -2, tells us is that we're going to multiply that by the y value. So we're going to take the y value, we're going to multiply that by -2, and we're going to get a new y value. The x values are going to stay the same though. So whenever our a value is negative, it's always going to flip it over the x-axis, and then we have a stretch of 2. So that's going to pull us away from the x-axis a little bit. So the x value is still going to be 0, but then we're saying 1 multiplied by -2, that's -2. And so the x value of 1, we have 3/4 multiplied by -2, so that's going to be a negative. 3 times -2 is -6, and then we can reduce that when we're divided by 4, so we get -3/2. So we have 2 new points here to graph, and basically for the original one, we're at 0, we went up 1, but now we're stretching it by 2, so we're going to go down 2. So that's our new point there, 0, 2. And then we were up 3/4, and now we're going to go down 3.5. So then we can plot our points, and our function is going to look a little bit like this, where our asymptote is still the x-axis. So the domain's not going to change. We'll still go from -infinity to infinity, all values included. The range in this case, now we're down here below the x-axis. So we're starting at -infinity down here, and we're working our way up to 0. So the range is going to go from -infinity to 0, neither point included. Our asymptote is still y equals 0, and the x-intercept is 0, -2. So if we look at that on our graph, we can see that we have the point 0, 1, and we have the point 0, -2, and our asymptote for both is still the x-axis.